You're listening to the Beats and Bars podcast hosted by BATTL Beats. This podcast is out there to shine a light on the most slept on and underrated rappers and producers.
It's battle, baby.
Hey guys, what's up? It's BATTL Beats here with the Beats and Bars podcast, episode 1. I'm really excited that you have joined. In this podcast, I have got a very special guest and good friend of mine, WN. Give us a shout out.
Hey, what's happening?
So do I have to call you WN or can I call you Wyatt? What do you prefer?
I mean, I gotta be honest, even though the rap name is WN, I feel like mostly everybody calls me Wyatt anyway. So we'll just see what happens if we ever pop off.
Good stuff. So for everyone listening who don't know, me and Wyatt, we work very closely together. We are homies, as one might say. And we also have released an EP that was released February earlier this year, which was, to just tell us a little bit about that EP, Wyatt.
Rap and meditation, super cool. I had my buddy, I'll tell you how like it all came together. Me and BATTL, we worked and picked the beats out, and then I created a story. It's more of a conceptual album where like I would take the idea of rapping and meditating and death, and I intertwine them so that people could get like multiple perspectives of each song and they kind of connect one to the other. And the artwork was done for the cover art by a buddy of mine, Ryan, O.R. Ash. And I'm like meditating. And then if you look in the stars, you can see BATTL is back there like my Jedi master, just looking over the young rapping Padawan. And it's super dope. I'm very happy with the way it came out. We're actually working on another one.
Well, I was going to be asking you that a bit later on, but that is cool.
Oh, my bad. I mean, yeah, that's it.
That's good. It's fine. So as well as rapping, what other cool things do you do on the internet?
Well, I try to keep my plate as full as possible. When it comes to internet stuff, I have been fooling around with TikTok now and YouTube, and I try to stay active as I can. I've been trying to balance out the social medias. It's kind of like a video game, isn't it? Where like you have some that are stronger than others. Like I have more subs on YouTube, and then I barely have anybody on Twitter. So I'm trying to get those numbers a little bit more balanced.
So tell us a little bit more about your YouTube channel then. What sort of content do you post on there?
For anything and everything that I feel like that I'm into. It's like a variety channel. So I do the music, I do reactions. People really mess with the reactions, and I do just all kinds of random videos. Like if you look through my playlists, I've had to create very specific playlists for the stuff that I was doing. So I got like I said, the music. I have some fitness videos. I have a section that's just called And Stuff. I like to do skits and like other funny things. Sometimes I'm just playing the guitar. Sometimes I'll just be making like salmon and asparagus. You never know.
I thought that was a cool video, actually. I never thought about cooking asparagus that way. So yeah.
Hey, truffle zest on the top. High key, very important.
That was killer. Truffle is one of my favorite ingredients. But so as well as rapping, you're a reactor. You make skits. You chef. Is that right? You work.
I chef.
Yeah.
I definitely chef.
And what certain grocery store are you an employee of that you are very proud of?
Yeah, HEB. Where here everything is better. That's also some more music that me and BATTL worked on. Is we made a song called "Here Everything Is Better," which literally is a rap about HEB, which is a Texas grocery store. So if you're from Texas, you know about it. But yeah. It was super proud. But I mean, that's just the way Texans are. Just got a lot of pride. Don't mess with Texas.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with Texas. I remember watching, do you remember Top Gear? It's a British car show. You ever seen? And they went to Texas, and I think they've never been more scared for their life than when they was in Texas.
Hey, but there's a lot of Texan hospitality out here, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're the only Texas person I know, except Cess. But, I love Texas. I really want to go one day. But so you rap, you make YouTube videos, you make content, you do all sorts of things. So you've got quite a lot of plates that you're spinning at the same time. But rapping is kind of one of the things that you want to, go into and make as your career. But if we
100%.
but if we take it right back, when did you start rapping?
Well, I've always been a fan, you know. I've always aspired. When did I start taking it like serious? Not until recently, to be honest. Like I've always tried to make music, but didn't know how to go about it.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I still don't know much about mixing. That's why we're the match made in heaven. But I really didn't know anything before. I thought it was just find a beat and then record some vocals to it and turn some stuff up and turn some stuff down. But apparently that's not the way you do that.
Yeah. So so you can't think of, I was like 12 and I got into rapping. Was there a particular time in your life?
I've always tried to rap. Like you're probably right. Probably from like 11 or 12, I've always tried to, and I could always like freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say I've always been like the best, but like I mean, I've been a little bit more. Like if I was in a crowd of people and I started freestyling, no matter what little era of like me that I picked, I was never like, they would never be like, that dude was complete trash. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
There's also getting over the hump of being like building up the courage to actually go into a circle of people that are rapping and do it.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that one, because I've been doing music all my life. You know, I'm 26 now, but when I was 14, I was starting playing in bands, getting around all sorts of different musicians. And even though in somewhat, I know that I'm quite good, and you know, I've got a sense of professional pride. There is always at the back of your mind that nervous thing when you meet a new crowd of musicians or producers or whatever they might be, and then all of a sudden you feel like, oh, am I? Then you question, am I good? Am I? Do I still can I vibe still? And then I think with that you've just got to say, you know what, I'm just going to push through it, because music is all about sharing and people loving it and just having a great time. And I think as an artist, if you're really talented, or as a producer, you're not giving the world what it deserves if you're holding in your talents. Do you know what I mean? Which is why.
Be honest,
so go on.
I was just gonna say, to be honest, I've just gotten to the point where I don't feel awkward or weird telling somebody that I rap.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was always this thing that I wouldn't tell anybody. I would just do it and then post it, and of course my close friends knew, and like people would randomly see me at a party or something, and I would jump into a circle and freestyle, but I wouldn't come out and tell people I rap. Now it's in the intro of all my videos.
I think that's good, and I think like I know a lot of people who are my friends, or who are people I work with or whatever, that aren't in the music industry, and I tell them, oh yeah, I make music, or I produce music and do this and that, and a part of them, I almost feel sometimes a part of them is like, yeah, whatever, or I bet that's trash, kind of. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that sort of thing can be really like hard to hear when people that you're either close to or you work with are like, oh yeah, I bet that's rubbish. Oh yeah, you'll never make it. And that kind of is a blow. And as an underground producer myself, it's one of those things that knocks you back, but you can't let it knock you back, because you've got to believe in your craft. Have you ever had any experiences where you've noticed people close to you, or colleagues, or just people who have been like, oh yeah, you're never going to make it, you're never going to ascend to anything in music or whatever?
All the time, to be honest. I still catch that in different ways, though. One, people just outright saying it, or two, you can tell that they're not interested if you're trying to show them something. So like if I'm showing them a song, I've thought about this a lot. Whenever I'm showing them a song, and then they'll start a full conversation or start talking about something else in the middle of the song that I'm trying to show them. So clearly they're not trying to hear what I'm saying, So like and then, oh man, if after the song that they didn't listen to like 3/4 of it, they're like, oh yeah, that was good. Or you know what I'm saying? Or I think you should work on this. Either way, you didn't listen to it. So now your opinion to me is invalid.
Yeah. I get
But
what you're saying.
But I have had, like, I love my stepdad. He still is not trying to hear nothing about any music. I think it's going to be one of those things that not until it's not really going to be. I mean, I'm starting to see people's tide turn as now that I've broken 1,000 subs on YouTube and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now working with you, I have some music on Spotify, which these are a few things that I feel like make people feel like you're a little bit more legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I was going to say a second ago is I feel automatically whenever you tell somebody that you make music or you rap, it's guilty until proven innocent, not innocent until proven guilty, in that they think that you're trash automatically, and you have to show them that you're not trash, as opposed to the other way around. I find myself thinking that too sometimes, and I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
The benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's good. And like, that's the thing. Some people aren't going to be interested, and that's fine. But good part of growing as a producer and an artist is find the people that are for you and support you and will help grow you, will share your stuff on social media and stuff, because they're the real ones. So when we do break out, you can be like, yeah, well, you weren't there for me at the start. You didn't even have, 30 seconds to listen to this. So yeah, I'm not going to bring you along with me, but still listen to my stuff, enjoy it. But I'm going to be with the guys that are there from day one.
Yeah, I'm not going to be salty about it. I'm not going to hang on to it. But also, you're not coming with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a nasty guy. I'm a nice guy in all things. But it's like you got to keep your your bros and your the supporters closer to you, and those who aren't, you just got to move on because they're going to drag you down. But one thing I want to ask you is, I don't think I've ever asked you this before, because you have quite a unique style of rapping, which I really like. It's kind of a melodic style of rapping. What would you say are your main influences?
That's actually pretty difficult, because I want to say what has given me my style is, how some people talk about they listen to everything, but they really don't. They listen to maybe a little bit of rock or a couple of types of hip hop, and they think they listen to everything. No. I think because there's been multiple people that have told me too that when they listen to my music, their feedback is they think that I legitimately don't sound like anybody. And like they try to pinpoint who I sound like, but I don't sound like anybody. And I think part of that has to do with I've listened to the heaviest of metal. I listen to classical. I listen to grunge. I listen to like Celtic, just Celtic meditation music. I listen to you heard it, like random Japanese like music. There's if it's music, I want to hear it because I'm trying to absorb as much as possible. It's the same reason that I'm trying to get better at the keyboard. I'm trying to get better at singing, trying to get better at guitar. I feel like if I can absorb as much music as possible, it's just going to make me better.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, of course, I listen to Eminem. He's the GOAT to me. 50 Cent. But like, to be honest, I don't think that they've influenced my music too much. I mean, maybe in a way of getting like ideas and rhyme schemes, but to be honest, I don't even really listen to music on Spotify and stuff like on rotation or anything, unless like I'm working out or going for a run or something. I don't really listen like that. So it's hard to say if anybody really influences my style in particular. I think that's probably why I sound different.
Yeah, I think that's really good as well, because one thing that I find is a lot of rappers, sound so similar. You know, they've got a classic trap beat, and they've got auto tune on the voice, and they're all just doing the same style of bars. And to be honest, I can appreciate it, but I think it's kind of draining. It's like, because you want to take your influences or take the music that you listen to and then make it your own. So I find, from what you just said and just from knowing you and listening to your music and working closely with it, that your style is you. You don't have anyone else in there. You know, I know you mentioned that you like Eminem and 50 Cent, but I don't really see much of their influence in your music. I just see your experiences, your style of music, because I think the newer beats that we're working on for the new EP are a little bit more indie rock boom bap vibe that I'm getting. And then there's one kind of heavier beat in there too, which is really good. But I think your style is kind of boom bap, indie rock, hip hop sort of thing. And I have grown up playing indie rock and guitar and Arctic Monkeys and just, you know, indie bands and, you know, really high pitched guitar, kind of clean things. And I was in a band about 5 years ago, and we played a lot of, we was a band that kind of blended Oasis, the Beatles, and Brian Jonestown Massacre, and we accumulated our own sound. Was really cool, but we were unique. But people said we sounded like Oasis. So from that, and then
sounding like Oasis, by the way, is not bad.
No, definitely not. And unfortunately, we never did anything with the album that we wrote, because my friend, who was the singer, we was in a band together. He went off and is doing his own house music stuff now. But it's a shame, really, because we had really good music. But we took all of our favourite styles and we made our own style. And I think that's what really, really is good with me, because I grew up listening to indie rock and roll and stuff like that. And then meeting you, who loves that style, we complement each other really well. And what I found that I've had to do is learn to make trap beats, because when I first started making beats, they were kind of indie more of an indie style. But then I had to learn, right, I'm going to dial in an 808 and I'm going to figure out how to play a few different kind of darker, trappy vibes. And it's been a really fun journey, and I love making trap beats as well. But it's really interesting hearing your story. But enough of me babbling. How about you tell us a little bit of the new EP? Why don't you go into a little bit? You might not want to share too much, but I'm sure people would really want to hear what you got to say about it.
So, like he was saying, all right, so what I think is cool is I feel like me and Battle, we always try to do something new and different on each track, especially with this one that I'm seeing. We try to do something that we haven't done before on another track. You probably can think in your head, right? The parts that I'm thinking about with like you just know there's little sections where we remember where we were trying something new here, something new there, and seeing how it worked. I think that's we're not getting stuck in any box, I feel. I don't know if you feel this way, but
I do, yeah.
The beats that you've been making recently, to be honest, would you have ever seen yourself making beats like that?
Probably not, especially the Cut Ties beat, because that's like a really heavy trap beat, but then there's like really distorted electric guitar, like metal that I was playing on it. But then another one of the beats, I got a really cool, happy guitar sound, and I added just sort of some just kind of like grooving rock and roll drums, and like the two together, they just sound amazing. And another, one of the other beats is I've got 80s synths playing in the background. Then I've got an indie rock guitar coming on. Then I've got like a really heavy bass and drum beat on top of that. So it's kind of like an amalgamation of my favorite genres, your favorite genres together. And that's why
I love fusion. Fusion in general has always piqued my interest. Like Not only do I like listening to every genre of music, I like listening to the people and or bands that cross over into the other sections of music, because it just sounds like something we wouldn't have gotten before, kind of like creating these weird subgenres. So now you were listening to every genre, but now you're trailing off into weird subgenres that's fusion other sounds. And I feel like with like rap and meditation, it was the story as opposed to the beat that connected everything, because from beginning to end it told a story. But I feel like with this EP, it's more of the sound. The sound connects everything together. So like the instruments being used and the way that we're mixed into the beat and stuff, I feel like that sound is what is connecting everything as opposed to the story.
And what's really cool is in one of the beats that I sent you basically the skeleton beat, and then you rapped on top of it, and then I after that, whilst mixing it, added extra bits into the beat. And that was like really good, because I think a lot of producers need to hear this, and I hear all the pros saying as well, don't make your beats too busy because the artist won't have much room to play. And I've got another question about the artist-producer relationship in a minute, but I just want to brush over this quickly before we do that, because I sent you basically a skeleton beat, which was really good, that you really liked as well. But then, after you'd rapped in it and you filled the space, I then added extra instruments or even took some out to make the song kind of complete. Whereas a lot of producers who are selling beats online, which I am myself as well, they'll just make a beat, put it online, and they'll sell a lease to it, which is really good. But then they may not have any more creative freedom on that track, because a rapper's just leased it and they're going to go and make a track to it, upload it. They might mix it themselves. They may have another producer who mixes it for them. But tell us a little bit about the producer-artist relationship and how it's helped you with your music, working with me closely, and go into it.
I feel like we've been able to make something that is different from, okay, so like you were saying, if you just have the bass beat and you just rap on it, I mean, you might be able to do some other things yourself, but you're going to be restrained in a way, or limited in what you can create. So I feel like there's not as much creative freedom, and you're not able to make something as interesting as you would like. With the way that we go back and forth and take stuff out, or put stuff more back in, or re-record other things to change a section, I feel like that's what's making it more unique. Like whenever you added the guitar and played to that section of where my vocals is, it gave it like the proper energy and build up for the song, whereas you wouldn't have gotten that if you were just rapping on a beat, I don't think, unless something was already there and you kind of made it fit that way. But I feel like it is very beneficial to making music that's going to catch someone's eye, for sure, because one, you're not going to get bored of the track, because if you just get a beat, there's a chance that it might only have one or two things that are, switching up or different. It might just be a boom, snap, clap with maybe a change here or there. Whereas I feel like with my vocals and the way that you keep the beat fluid and changing, then there's always something to entertain the listener.
Definitely. And I definitely think it's really, just from the producer's perspective as well, it makes your beat come more alive, because I can't sing. I've tried, I've sung before, but I'm really not a singer. And I've always said if I could sing, I'd be as rich as Ed Sheeran, but I'm not. So that sucks. But it's really helped my music, because I make a beat. I might have a vision for it. I might see it go in a certain way, but every time I send it over to you, it just kind of exceeds what I could have seen in it, because you always kill it. And then when I'm mixing it, I can add things, take things out, and it makes it more exciting. Whereas if I hear one of my beats released by a rapper, who leased it or I gave it to, I always really appreciate it and I love hearing it. But there's something special about working with the vocals as well, and then working the beat around the vocals, because really you want the vocals to shine. So I found that really fun over the past few months working on the new EP, is just to be able to work on the beats better and work on the vocals as well. So
and both of us are growing and getting better, and I feel like that's a big thing too, because if you're just making the beats and you're selling them, just like if I was just rapping on a beat, neither one of us are going to get better. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. But because we're working together, going back and forth, trying new techniques, broadening what we can do, we are helping each other get better. So like, you're getting better at changing up your beats and mixing vocals, coming up with new ways to creatively mix the vocals, and like, you were saying, with different plugins and stuff like that. And same with me, I'm trying new things whenever I'm rapping on the track or singing, or adding some type of different layer in between. Like, I feel like it's very working. Another good bullet point for working with a producer, the producer rapper relationship, is growth.
Definitely, because we definitely make each other better, and iron sharpens iron, in the sense that we are making each other better. And I definitely think that this EP that we've got is going to be pretty sick. And I feel like this is kind of a podcast for a plug for that, but it really isn't. But I think
it's about music, and that's the music that we're currently working on. So.
Exactly. And I think I can't wait to get people to listen to it, because it is sounding super, super sweet.
I want to drop, but what do I know so bad? But I'm waiting on the artwork.
Yeah,
I can't drop it until the artwork is ready.
I know.
Even if I were to do a video, at the end you would still want to show the artwork and say coming soon this date or whatever, as like a release, if I was doing the single. And I know other people that make music out there and like release songs have to feel similar, in a way that when you have a track that you just think is so good and you want to show it to everybody and you want to drop it, but you got to sit on it. Oh man, it is the struggle. Yeah,
you got to sit on it, because one thing I do believe is that making the music's 20% of the work, but the 80% is the marketing, is the strategically planning, getting it out there, not just recording it and then releasing it. And I mean, that works for people like Drake, who literally is dropping songs.
They already have the following. Me and my buddy were talking the other day. Drake or Eminem, they could release a blank CD and get 100,000 buys. You know what I'm saying? Like there wouldn't even have to be anything. It could be Drake talking, and it's gonna sell. It wouldn't have to be music anymore. Definitely,
I definitely think that's good. So, what would you say is one of the biggest things that you've learned whilst growing as a rapper?
To have an open mind and no ego. I mean, some ego and bravado to the point of like what you're talking about, you mean what you're saying on the track. But when I say no ego, I mean, like, if I send my producer, aka Battle Beats, if I send him a track and there's a vocal section or something on it that he feels like, nah, something doesn't sound right about it, we're making the music together. I can't have an ego and be like, nah, that shit's fire, use it. I need to take into consideration what you're saying about it, and then switch it to make it better. So you can't be afraid to go back and redo something. from music, from anything I do, I'm the same way. There was a little short video that I shot about like D&D or whatever, and I kept trying to roll a double 20 with dice, and they have 20-sided dice. And I don't know if you've ever tried that, but it is very difficult to get a double 20 roll. And I sat there for an hour and a half just with my camera on, just rolling dice until I got the right roll.
That's commitment to the grind.
That's it. You can't be afraid to admit whenever something is less than what you were going for.
Definitely. And I think what you said there about not being offended if, the producer says, I think this take is rubbish, because it's not exactly like we are working in the same room. If I was sat in the studio on the desk and you were recording vocals and I thought you didn't do a good take, I could say, why don't you just try doing that again? Do a few warm-ups, get it right. But when you send me a take, I'm not there in the room, so I can't hear it. I can't feel what it sounds like. So it's different. But I think when I have sent back and said, maybe just redo this, or, I remember saying there was some weird sounds, and then,
we did some more takes and we were able to get rid of that sound.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the key, because you care about how you sound, but I also care about how you sound as well, because we're making this together, and we don't want to set ourselves up for failure. So we're always trying to, be better. And I think too many rappers may get offended. I get offended easily in a lot of things. Like I'm really easily offended, but it's just that constant struggle and the battle just to fight against that and say, you know what? No, we're going to make this better. We're going to stick to this and we're going to grind it out. And I think that's what's really good about our working relationship. But also I've seen that with other rappers that I've mixed with. I've said, just slightly offbeat there. So why don't you just try and do the take, just take it in 4-bar increments and just do, just go from 2 or 3 different audio stems and blend them up.
If you can't do the whole verse, then do your punch-ins and try to keep it the same volume and tone, though. That's the main thing with punch-ins, though, is it will make it more difficult for you, the producer, because maybe they did the 4 bars 1 volume and then they did the other. Like with me, I'll try to not do any mixing or anything, but I'll just try to make sure that everything, at least volume wise, for my vocals and stuff when I send it to you, sounds pretty close to the same. That way you're not having to like Frankenstein something together. But you can't be afraid to do a punch in. If you got 90% of a verse, great, but you just can't seem to nail down this last section, well then use your 90% and then punch in the last little bit and get it all right. And then once you have it sounding perfect on the track, then you'll be able to go back over, listen to it, and get it all in one take. So like if you do want to go perform it somewhere, you perform it live, you better be able to do it all in one take.
Yeah, that's a different story. I mean, you could literally record verse word after word and get it sounding right. But I mean, it's exactly that. Don't be afraid to do punch-ins. Don't be afraid to take it 4 bars, 2 bars at a time, because you don't want to sell yourself short as a rapper making music that you're offbeat. And I did a competition about a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, and there was a few takes that were offbeat, and I can hear it because I know music and I can feel the beat as well. And you're listening to metronomes and
BPMs all the time. So like I know whenever you send me a beat and you're like, this one's 152 BPM or this, and then whenever you're playing guitar, you have to put the guitar in there correctly, so you'll have your little.
And I mean, sometimes I am stretching the notes or quantizing them because I didn't play them out of time. But I mean, that's the thing. I think if there's one thing that I want rappers to take from this podcast is you need to work with a producer who can make you better, and vice versa, you make him better. But also don't be afraid to do punch-ins and take it 4 bars at a time, because there's a lot of artists who do sing off beat a lot of the time, and they need to get better, and they need to be told. But I think sometimes people want to be too nice.
If you're not willing to take criticism and you're not listening, they always say you learn more from failure. You know, you're gonna learn more from a loss than you are from a win. Because a win, you don't see that you need to change anything, but a loss, you go back, you reassess, you look at what you've done and see how you can improve. So, I mean, I can't name, you know, I've entered quite a few competitions, and I can't tell you how many competitions I either didn't even get looked at, not mentioned, or got looked at, and I've caught so many L's. But there's gonna be times where I'm gonna catch that W, and I'm never gonna stop. So to be honest, they're all learning experiences. I do have a funny story though. I was playing basketball one time, and most of the time we win on the court, but for some reason with the team I was with one day, we just kept losing. We kept losing. And I was like, hey, guys, this is a learning experience. And they were like, well, we're tired of learning.
Yeah, people don't want to learn. People just want to be there. And like, I remember, was it January last year? So nearly a year and a half ago, I remember saying, look, I'm going to be doing music full time by the end of the year. That's my New Year's resolution. Let's get it. Let's go. You know, let's take over. And sometimes you do manage to blow up overnight, and it just all works for you. But sometimes it's about building the building blocks and the building on the rocks, and not building your music on sand, and learning and getting feedback and growing and daily grinding to the point where you've got yourself established. And then once you're established, you get momentum, and from momentum you then start getting somewhere with it, and things start looking up. Like I think of Lil Nas X. It was only 18 months ago where he released Old Town Road. He had 2,000 Instagram followers. He was like, oh, Old Town Road out now, go check it out. Fast forward 6 months, and he was like #1 hit worldwide. No, and it's like those little stories. But
he holds the record for the track that sat at #1 the longest amount of time.
But people forget the grind that he probably went through. Not probably, but did go through all that time before. And people just think, yeah, he just blew up overnight. But people miss the dedication for all that time. And we need to know that, because we're all underground and we're all trying to make it. So we all can't give up on the grind. And if you're feeling unmotivated, just snap yourself out of it and keep grinding and keep grinding and keep grinding and all of that stuff. So it's good.
You have to, man. I've grinded for every single subscriber that I have. I might as well have been going door to door being like, will you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Yeah,
definitely. It's very good. But anyway, I think that is probably enough time on the Beats and Bars podcast. And I just want to say big shout out and thank you to Wyatt, aka WN, aka Backyard Fitness and stuff on YouTube. Thank you for being the first guest. Would it be possible to play a 20-second snippet of one of the new songs?
I'm cool with it. Which one you doing?
I don't know. Whichever one you think. We could talk about it later. I don't know.
All right. Well, it'll be a surprise.
Definitely. But anyway, thank you for jumping on. And to all the listeners out there, which I hope there's some, starting a podcast is fun. I'm going to be making brand new videos every week and podcasts. So it's going to be on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and all that good stuff. So thank you for tuning in. Let's look forward to next Friday, and I'll see you next time, guys.
Peace.
Let's go. In a different space, in a different place, got a different mindset. Haven't closed the blinds yet. In a different space, in a different place, got a different mindset. Haven't closed the blinds yet. Haven't closed the blinds, but you can catch me peeking just like the sun when it's sleeping. Some beats on the floor, they speaking feelings, feeding emotions that are fleeting all over the place.
listening to the Beats and Bars podcast. I'm your host, Battle Beats. See you next week.
It's battle.